Welcome students. In the previous lecture, we discussed about the principle of gas welding process. So in this lecture, we will discuss about the flame characteristics. So what this signifies is the type of flame produced during the gas welding process. So what determines the type of flame? So there are three types of flames. One is carburizing flame, another one is oxidizing flame, and another one is neutral flame. So how these three flames are categorized or how these three flames are formed is by varying the volume of oxygen and acetylene. So if one is higher, one is lower, some type of flame will be formed. For example, if acetylene is higher and oxygen is lower, you will get carburizing flame. Oxygen is higher and acetylene is lower, then you will get oxidizing flame. Both are in the same volume, then you will get neutral flame. So what the name indicates, we will discuss. First, we will discuss about the neutral flame. So neutral flame is actually a flame which has equal ratio of oxygen and acetylene. Uh, so what this flame looks like, this is how the neutral flame will look. So it has a very small red envelope and a large blue envelope. So this type of flame is predominantly used for gas cutting, and also it can be used for welding also. So what type of materials can be welded using this type of neutral flame is listed here: mild steel, stainless steel, cast iron, copper, aluminum. So if you see these metals, they they are not dependent on either carbon or oxygen. If you take steel, uh, mild steel or stainless steel, if you provide more carbon or more oxygen, what happens is that there may be some reaction occurring in those materials. So those type of material can be welded using this neutral flame. So moving on to the next flame, which is the carburizing flame. So this carburizing flame, as I discussed, will have more amount of acetylene and less volume of oxygen. So if there is less volume of oxygen, what happens? It has to derive oxygen from the surrounding atmosphere. Hence, this carburizing flame will actually be larger in nature compared to neutral as well as uh, oxidizing flame. The reason being, excess oxygen is needed during the welding process because here acetylene is more than oxygen. So what happens is that the excess acetylene will draw oxygen from the surrounding atmosphere, and hence the flame will be larger. This is like keeping your stove in the high position. When you keep it in a high position, what happens? You can see flame like this: a yellow flame, a red flame, and a blue flame. So like this, you will be witnessing this similar type of flame when you keep your stove in high. So see the temperature is generated. It is around 3150 degrees Celsius. But if you take a neutral flame, the temperature generated there is 3200 degrees Celsius. So slightly lower than the oxidizing flame. So the purpose of this carburizing flame is when you weld using this flame, excess carbon will be generated. So that carbon will get deposited on the surface of the metal which is being welded, and hence you can weld high carbon steel as well as non-ferrous alloys such as nickel using this flame. So the reason, because if you weld mild steel or low carbon steel, what happens is that excess carbon will be deposited on the surface, which hardens the surface. Whenever carbon is added to the surface gets harder. Mild steel is a high ductile material. So if the surface becomes hard, ductility is compromised. Hence, we are using neutral flame to weld mild steel, and you are using carburizing flame to weld high carbon steel, because during welding, if carbon is diffused, then that carbon can be supplemented using this carburizing flame. So moving on to the oxidizing flame, it's the highest um temperature generating flame. As you can see, it is 3500 degrees Celsius, close to 3500 degrees Celsius. So the temperature here generated is higher because of the excess oxygen. As I said in the first series, first lecture itself, whenever oxygen is applied more, then complete combustion takes place. So hence, because of the complete combustion, higher temperature is generated. So this is regarding these three types of flames. So can you identify these three types of flames? So I'll just give you one clue. The middle flame is carburizing flame. It's because it's deriving oxygen from the atmosphere and hence the flame is larger in size. Other two flames you can identify yourself and you can discuss with me in the class. So hope you understood this lecture. Thank you, students.